So I'm out walking the trails tonight to blow off steam because, of course, the Blue Jays played today and they had to sweep the bottom of the barrel Baltimore Orioles to have a chance at the postseason, which they did. So I can't be mad at the Blue Jays. But then Boston and New York both played today, and either one of those teams had to lose. And what makes it so frustrating and infuriating to me is that the New York game went right to the ninth before they scored a run, and of course Boston also was tied 5-5 going into the ninth, and then they hit a two-run homer and the Jays lost. So every season, whether it's baseball or hockey, I start the new season with hope, and I spend all this time watching and rooting and cheering for my team. I'm not even mad about that this year because the Blue Jays kind of strung together like 16 out of 18 wins to make it as far and as close to the playoffs as they did. What I'm upset about is that I wanted to buy tickets to go to Toronto for this last weekend and just get a hotel and go for all three games. And I couldn't find anyone to go with me. And I think I'm mad at myself because I should have just went and did it. It's something I wanted to do. And I think I'm always relying on other people to do, to follow through with what I want to do. Oh, hey, Tom, you want to go? No, Tom can't go. Tim, Joe, Mike, Bob, nobody can go. So Gary ends up not going. You know what? I think moving forward into 2022, that's going to be my new resolution, is when I want to do something, I'm just going to go do it. I'm out here walking the trails alone, man, and it's kind of like a symbolism of my life. I'm always alone. That's just the way it is. And why wait for other people to do things that you want to do to make you happy, right? I'm going to stop asking permission. I'm just going to start going and doing. You can't let other people's decisions influence your happiness. I guess you have to really know and understand what it is you want. And I wanted to go to those three baseball games, and I wanted to sit in the nosebleeds in Section 5 for $20 a ticket, have a hotel for the weekend, and the reason I didn't do it was because they had to play New York beforehand, and I thought, well, those three games could be meaningless. And I should have just ordered the tickets. I should have just, booked the hotel and went and did it, because now looking back, I missed out. Even though the Blue Jays, knowing what I know now, would not have made the playoffs, I would have been extremely happy to have done what I wanted to do, which was go down there and have a great weekend. And why did I feel that I needed other people to go with me? I don't know. And because everyone else turned me down, I didn't go. And now I feel like, I let them influence my decision. So ever since I was a kid, a 10-year-old kid playing a video game, I've always lived my life by a very stringent set of rules. And that is delay of self-gratification, which is why I'm enjoying this book so much. This guy loves to torture himself, and apparently I do too. Right? The road less traveled, we've talked about it. When I was a kid, if I played a video game and you played for 6 hours and you saved all your money and you could go buy the new sword and armor right now, I never would, okay? We would play for 15 hours, my brother and I, and then we would get the sword and the armor that was 3 times more powerful, because we knew you would have to suffer for that extra 8 hours. But in the end, it would be worth it because it would be so much easier. And I've kind of lived my whole life with that mentality, right? Don't go out now. Save your money. Invest here. Do this. Do that. Don't take that job. Stay here and suffer to move ahead. Whatever it is. This guy has led a life of freaking anything but instant gratification. That is where I'm going with that. And I feel like I'm either asking permission for stuff, or I get an idea and I think, well, my friends don't want to do it, or my spouse doesn't want to do it, or whoever, and so I don't do it. And it's all part of this. Well, I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm not. I have already had my midlife crisis at 36. Been there, done that. I crashed hard at 36, guys. So this isn't anything but that. This is just a continuation of the learning curve for Gary. And I think I'm at the point where I keep hinting at it, and I'm finally just going to say, you know, what does Gary want? What's going to make Gary happy? And do it, right? And when I say that I could go and be completely, totally happy by myself, I can. Guys, I'm happy by myself. I'm happiest by myself quite often, right? I mean, sharing certain experiences, going to someone's camp, fishing, hunting, whatever. I mean, there are experiences you share with others, but then there are other times I could have been just as happy going to Toronto and spending a weekend in that hotel and eating out at a fancy restaurant and having a few cold beers and enjoying 3 games because I wanted to enjoy that experience of the 3 games, especially if it was going to be meaningful baseball, and I let other people dictate that, oh, you know, these games aren't going to mean anything anyway, and or we just can't go and this person can't go, and I let that dictate, right? And I have to stop doing that. We all have to stop doing that. I think I'm hot tonight. And when I say hot, I don't mean my jacket. I mean I'm annoyed. I'm not annoyed at the end of the season. I'm annoyed at that I'm not in Toronto right now driving home going, that was an awesome freaking series. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, I should have been there and I should have been enjoying it. So the only reason I'm filming in the pitch black here is because, you know, I'm thinking so deep. Like, I've already spent an hour walking, and these are the things I'm analyzing as I'm walking, you know. And these are the important things that come out of self-evaluation and all the self-help books and reading that we do, and we talk about all these books that we mention and share on the channel. It all points to very basic things, guys, and the basic thing that I'm struggling with is, what does Gary want? You know, the fact that we need to do soul searching, and it doesn't always have to be about our kids, our spouse, somebody else, our friends, our employer, right? It doesn't have to always be about that delay of self-gratification and taking the hard route to end up with a better something in the future, right? We can indulge, we can enjoy the things we want to enjoy. I mean, not all the time, not frivolously. I would never go and, you know, spend $300 on a pair of shoes. That's just not in me, right? But if Gary wants a new pair of shoes, Gary can go buy a new pair of shoes and not feel bad about it. And shoes is not my issue, right? Baseball tonight is my issue. I don't really have, most of the time, anxiety anymore. I know how to deal with that, right? What are my true anxieties from the time I was a kid? Probably always fear of death. You know, it was always fear of something to do with that. You know, it was never fear of public speaking or anything like that. Like, I mean, it was just the one, you know, hey, but you know what? You come to realize we're all gonna die. It's just the adventure that you have while you're here that matters, right? And I honestly, truly believe, when I search at the soul level, I honestly, truly believe that if I were in control of my situation here, that it is exactly as I would have wanted it. I would want it to be tough. I wouldn't want anything handed to me. I would want it to be a learning experience, something you would have to fight your way through, that delay of self-gratification. Nothing comes easy. Well, I've decided, and I have spoken to the universe very recently, a few nights ago, in fact, and I said, you know what? I'm ready to drop that game level from a 98 down to a 90, right? I just want a little bit of easy in my life at this point, right? Not super easy. We're still going to play at a 90 out of 100. You know, that's how I equate it, like video game, you know, if we were leveling our, and that's exactly what I pretty much equate this life to. And that's some kind of weird video game, because that's all I can make sense of is why we're here. Is it's either a vacation of some kind, and we've lost sight of that. If it's a learning experience, I don't really understand that as well, because for it to be a learning experience, we would want to build upon our learning experience. We would want to remember things that we've done in previous lives, right? If that's the case, everyone talks about this. I disagree. I think it's about adventure. It's about adventure and picking the proper sports teams, okay? Don't watch Toronto, Jays or Leafs, okay? Because they both suck. Well, the Jays not this year. We can't blame them. You know, it's like, here we go, the start of a new Leaf season coming up for just over a week. Is anybody really excited to watch another 82-game season in which they can't even make it out of the first round of the playoffs? After 20-some years, it's just gotten to the point where it's old. I guess it's easier for me to say that a time has come to, seek out adventure and just accept things and hope and accept that things can be easier because I have been successful, right? So if you're watching this and you have not been successful, personally, I would say you still need to strive to get somewhere. That's the other thing, okay, that I'm dealing with, okay? So I'm going to tell you, if you haven't reached your successful peak, and whatever that is, whether it's finishing your school, getting that promotion at work, whatever it is, you keep after it. Go after it, right? But I don't think that's why we're here. You will learn stuff from it. You will have a sense of gratification, and you will learn how to power through and get the things you want. But I don't think that's why we're here. Do I regret, my 3 diplomas, all the jobs I've had, the experiences I've had? No. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm like, work isn't it. I don't care about work. Especially working for another company, their goals and things they want to achieve don't have anything to do with this guy personally right now. I know what the things I enjoy in life are and what I think is important, and nature is the most important thing, I think, in my life, and what I think we need to look after as humans. And the rest of it is all just turning it in my head to start enjoying nature more, just relaxing, the adventure, enjoying. And that's where I'm at. A whole lot of rambling, but this is the truth. This is true Gary. This is Gary analyzing why he's here. What is the point of it all? The only thing I can come to is adventure. There may be some smoothing out learning thing here that, we all have an innateness in us that we know good and wrong. I can remember being a 5-year-old kid and pissing my grandmother off by running a Tinker Toys. You remember Tinker Toys? I made a long-handled, you stick blocks, there's long sticks and blocks, and you stick them together, and I had a rolly wheel on the end, and I was running it up the wall into her cuckoo clock. And I remember thinking at the age of 5, this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this is bad. But doing it just to see the reaction that I would get out of my grandmother. So, from the time we're kids, little kids, we innately know right from wrong. Okay, so I don't think this is about a learning thing. Guys, comment below. Just give me some of your life hassles, lessons, learnings, teachings, things you've come to know. What team do you root for? Hopefully it's not Toronto. Comment below.